Welcome to Faith-Led Healing with Tammy Trayer, Integrative Health Practitioner and Certified Breathworker. Tammy's passion is to help people take their life and health into their own hands so they can live their best life ever. Imagine having the energy to fulfill your dreams and create the life you desire. Rebalance your body by removing the stresses and toxicity and start healing. Listen as Tammy guides you along the healthy path with the Lord leading the way.
Hey, my friends. Welcome to Faith-Led Healing. I am your host, Tammy Trayer, and today is episode number 40. And we are going to talk about being present and what that looks like. If you've been listening to the podcast, we went through the extreme importance of detoxifying and all the different levels to detoxifying. And, we talked about the importance of your circle of people around you. In my community, we were talking about that last week. And, just as an example, in the Bible, in Mark, a paralytic was brought to Jesus by his friends to be healed. And the faith of his friends enamored Jesus, and he healed the man. We need to surround ourselves with that kind of people. And the theme that you're going to find me really honing in on is living a life that's worth living and bringing our spiritual, our mental, and our emotional aspects of our life together, and to bring that balance so that we can find physical healing. And in turn, that will be bringing us into this place of living a life worth living. When we have our mental, our spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical self fully balanced, you will find such a great place to live life out of. And all the aspects of what you're going to hear me speaking about upcoming are going to bring all those things into alignment. And one of the benefits you're going to have here on the podcast is that every Friday, I'm going to be sharing a glimpse and tips and tidbits on a subject. And then you can join me in my community where we will be talking about that for the remainder of the week. And the following Wednesday, following the podcast, I go live in my community. My free community has access to me for 30 minutes on YouTube every Wednesday morning. And at the same time, I'm actually Zooming face-to-face with my special access community, which is a paid community. And then we jump off of YouTube and we take that subject even deeper, because YouTube, depending on the subject and depending on the topic, removes access to that video or completely deletes that video. And the fact that I speak about God and that God needs to be first in our lives is automatically, that puts me on their list. And then as I start talking, as we progress into discussing emotions and what that looks like and how it affects the body, and symptoms of high blood pressure and the root causes for those things. I'm going to start diving really deep. I just used high blood pressure as an example, but we will be diving deep into symptoms so that we can so I can help you hone in and become more aware. So as I step into these deeper subjects, that's part of the reason why I am only on YouTube for half an hour, and I'm really diving deep in my special access community. It is a paid community, but it's $7 a month. And that's the cost of a coffee today. So it's very minimal, but it's going to give you face-to-face access with me and a real deep dive into some really heavy-duty topics that we all need to be discussing. So I wanted to share that with you because if you're not part of my community, you've heard me mention the community. The community is where you're going to find the guts and deeper insight and more details and deeper discussions on the subjects you're going to find here on the podcast. So join me, faithledhealing.com/community. If you're already a member of the community, you can go there and just log into the community. You can use the app for Circle on your iOS or Android phones. But you can sign up for the free community right there, the special access or the all access communities. A lot is going to be happening in our community, and I want you to be a part of it, because as I started this today in mentioning Mark, the people that we surround ourselves do matter, and we want those people in our corner. And that is why I have a very fast-growing community happening, because we are able to surround ourselves with like-minded people that are seeking Jesus, that are wanting to be healthy and well, and that are wanting people in their corner that they can share openly, be transparent, request prayers, and be supported, but so that they can also support others. It is a heart nature of ours to be able to, surround ourselves with those people, to be able to love on other people. That is our makeup. It is human nature to want to be able to love and support others. It's also what we are called to do. So I encourage you, join the community. And today we're going to talk about being present. What does that look like? How many of you are desiring to have people's attention, but they're sitting there on their devices and they're just not focused, they're not present? How often do you catch yourself doing the exact same thing? The world dictates this obnoxious, fast pace. And as we are living out that fast pace, we are overwhelmed and we are seeking peace and quiet and balance, and for whatever reason, I believe a tactic of the enemy, we pull into our phones and then we just senselessly waste time trying to dumb down, trying to fill that void. You will hear me speaking all the time the importance of God being first. God brings peace. God brings balance. God brings direction. And in my practice, as you hear me saying all the time, we need to first be spiritually balanced. And that means allowing God to lead our lives, taking time daily to pull into Him and to find that peace and comfort that we are looking for. It's not on our devices. And so often we are chasing our to-do lists and being busy because we feel that if we're busy, we're doing something and it's valued. However, like I said, much of our busy time is just on a machine doing senseless things in our email boxes, chasing Pinterest or Instagram or Facebook, X, whatever your vice is. And we lose that ability to be present. And let me ask you this, who do you want to be present for? For me, I want to be present for God first. I want to be really pulling in and finding my peace and my comfort in Him. I want to find my balance and my purpose in Him. Who do I want to be present for next? Myself. And that's not meant selfishly. Sometimes when we pull away from everybody else, it's because we need a little bit of time for ourselves. If we are feeling very disheveled and out of sorts, we need to be focused with God, but we also need to be really in tune with ourselves. That's not a selfish thing. If we are not balanced ourselves and we feel very disheveled, how can we possibly be present for somebody else? So my next is myself, finding myself, pulling in, just taking some time to do some breath work, taking some time to just be still, regrouping myself. Be very honest. I needed to do that this morning. And then I wholeheartedly want to be present for my husband. I value my husband. I'm proud of my husband. I want to be able to be there to support him. I want to be present for him. I want him to feel that he is valued. I want him to feel that he is important to me. And being present with him is the first place to start. I also want to be present for my son. I want him to know that he too is valued, and that although I am busy and I need to be present for my husband, and I need to be spending time with God, and I need to be giving my practice my attention and my community my attention, my son needs to be ahead of that. And I pause for him and I give him my attention. And, we do need to set boundaries with people, but we need to also show that they are important to us. Those people that really matter and the ones we want to be present for, we need them to feel that. And I personally don't feel that when I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody and they're on their machine. I give that as an example because no matter where you go today, people are on their devices. If you're in an airport, if you're in a restaurant, one of the things that breaks my heart the most is when I am in a restaurant and I see people spending time together, but they're sitting across from each other and they're both on their phones. And I've heard people say that, well, that's okay, we are together, but we're text messaging each other. In my mind, there's something very wrong with that. The power of the voice, the power of eye contact, the power of listening. We've lost all those skills. And we are supposed to listen first and then speak. We've lost all that. And I want to encourage you to pull back into that. Put your device down and just pause and have a good conversation. Let the people that are most valuable to you know that they truly are valued. Being present is very important. And, I also believe that it will enable us to become a little more balanced and a little more focused, clearer, finding that peace and joy, because I truly believe our devices create such an imbalance in us. Really, I do. And to be present, we need to calm ourselves, take in a couple breaths, and just focus on the conversation at hand. Focus on what the needs are of your special and favorite people. Be present in their lives. And trust me, I'm a mom. My baby is 27, going on 28. I was there where you are if you have young children and you are being pulled in a million different directions. Over the last 7 months, I've been being pulled in a million different directions. I have not been on solid ground. I've been away from my homestead, and that is my comfort spot. It is my place of peace. And when we're being pulled in a million different directions, it does feel really hard to be present. But the more we focus on trying to be present, regardless what is going on around us, I believe that we can find that place. And when we find that place of being present, it brings a lot more balance and stability to our lives. I also know the need to get things done. But sometimes we are putting more importance on things on a to-do list that really don't matter. In our minds, we feel like everything has to get done today. But in reality, it's not always the case. So we need to reevaluate a little bit here in wanting to be present. Where are we vesting our presence? Where are we vesting our time? And are those things truly valuable and vital? You know, a lot of times everything seems important, but when in reality there are things that can wait and they really aren't that pressing. So start paying attention to those things and pause and be present more in your life. I think it's super important. And in that evaluation, you know, pay attention to where you are spending your time. And maybe some of the things you can pull away from. You know, I see a lot of people checking their emails every 15 minutes and their notifications because something might be important when really those things don't matter. So hone in on being present where you wish to be present. And see how that shifts things, see how that changes things. And I hope that that helps you to find another level of peace, because we really do need to hone in on where we are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally right now. And you're going to hear me talking a lot more about that as we progress here, in putting some things into place that are super foundational. Being present is really a foundational skill, in that when we learn to be present for God, when we learn to be present for ourselves, we take ourselves to a whole new level. And then being able to be present for others becomes a whole lot easier. Being present is foundational. And the next week's subjects are going to fall in line with this, as far as things that are foundational that we should really be paying attention to and really focusing in on. So thank you for joining me this week. Get in the community so that you can go deeper on this subject. And focus on being more present this week. I look forward to visiting again next week. You guys take care, and God bless.
Thank you for joining us on Faith-Led Healing, where every day is one step closer to your best life ever. We hope you enjoyed the show and encourage you to join us at faithledhealing.com. Connect with us on your favorite podcast app and be sure to leave us a review. Remember, your best life is just down the path. The Faith-Led Healing